हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगताम् अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। शङ्करं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरं भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वतीपतये। हर हर महादेव। Hari Om, Hari Om. We shall begin with the Shanti Mantra. Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyam Devaah Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraah Stirairangaihi Stuštuvagam Sastanobhihi Veshema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravah Swasti na Pusha Vishvavedah Swasti nastaksho arishtanemihi Swasti no Brahaspatir dadhatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We shall chant the mantras which we have seen from the beginning. Om Brahma Devanam Prathama Sambhabhuva Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gupta Sa Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha Atharvaneyam Pravaded Brahma Atharvatam Purovacha Angire Brahma Vidyam Sa Bharadvajaya Satyavahaya Praha Bharadvajangirase Paravaram Shaunako Have Mahashalo Angirasam Vidivat Upasannaha Papracha Kasminno Bhagavo Vidnyate Sarvamidam Vidnyatam Bhavatiti Tasmai Sahovacha Dve vidde veditavve iti hasma Yad brahmavido vadanti Para chaiva para cha Tatra apara Rigvedo yajurvedah Samavedo atharvavedah Shiksha kalpo vyakaranam niruktam chandah Jyotishamiti Athapara Yaya tadaksharam adhigamyate. So this Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad from Atharva Ved, begins by indicating the glorious parampara of this knowledge, which began from Brahma, the firstborn. He was born before all the Devatas also. And he is the creator of this world and protector of this world. Brahma gave this knowledge, Brahma Vidya, to his eldest son, Atharva. Atharva gave this same knowledge as he had learned from his father, his teacher. He gave this knowledge to Angi. And Angi gave this knowledge to Bharadvaj, who is also known as Satyavaha. And Bharadvaj gave this knowledge to Angirasa. And here in this Upanishad main, the Guru Shishya Samvad is there, dialogue between the student and teacher. The student Shaunaka approaches Angirasa. Shaunaka, a great householder, following proper dharma, after gaining that jidnyasa, approached the teacher Angirasa properly, with proper procedure, with proper reverence, and he asked a question, ki kasminno bhagavo vidnyate sarvamidam vidnyatam bhavati. Ki what is that knowing which everything becomes known? Means one comes to know the essence of everything. Then all the externals are only the outer expression, but the essence is known of everything. Everything means total this cosmos with all the beings. Though the whole world appears to be is made up of so many varieties, and all beings are also of different kinds. But still, there is something which is common in all. Because the source of this entire creation is one. The source, the Karana of this entire creation is one, and that Karana exists in the Karya also. Just as gold exists in gold ornaments. You cannot have any gold ornaments without gold. Similarly, you cannot have world without Brahma. Brahma is present in this world. So here Shaunaka wants to know about that Brahma. So he is asking, what is that knowing which everything becomes known? So the teacher replies to him. Teacher starts giving him the knowledge in detail. So in the beginning itself, the teacher tells him that there are two types of knowledge. One is apara. Apara means lower. Apara is a Sanskrit word. Apara means lower vidya. And para means higher vidya. Lower knowledge and higher knowledge. That higher knowledge is of Brahma. And lower knowledge is about the expressions of Brahma, the world, all beings, the karma phala, dharma, adharma, sadhana, and tat phala vishaya. Just as about gold also, there is knowledge of gold and there is knowledge of ornaments. There are some who are expert in the knowledge of the ornaments. They know how to make different types of ornaments. And there are those who know that all of them are gold. And one who has got the knowledge of that gold knows the ornaments also, that all these ornaments are nothing but gold. But those who only know the ornaments and unaware of the gold, they are aware only of the effect of that gold, which keeps on changing. Ornaments keep on changing. Gold doesn't change. Similarly, those who have knowledge about this world, about karma and all this knowledge is called apara vidya, lower knowledge. But that by which one comes to realize that Brahma, that is the para vidya. So now in the following mantra, fifth mantra, the Rishi describes that apara vidya, lower knowledge, and para vidya. And quite amazing, he mentions all the Vedas and all the anga of the Vedas, the limbs of the Vedas as apara vidya, as lower vidya. And lower vidya is that vidya, that knowledge which will never give us moksha. So tatra apara Rigvedaha, Rigved, Yajurved, Samaved and Atharva Ved. And as I had mentioned, these Vedas are Anadi Ananta Apaurushaya. Many times we hear people talking about it as Rigved was first and then other Vedas came and all those things, which is not acceptable. That is just imagination of people. The Vedas are Anadi, Ananta, Apaurushaya. So Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, and the limbs of the Vedas, the Shiksha, We have seen the Siksha also contains the knowledge of the Varna, the knowledge of letters, alphabets, then the knowledge of Swaras, Varna, Swaraha, Matra, the Matra, Balam, the force with which one chants, Sama, Santanaha, the Sama, the rhythm, pace at which it is chanted, and Santanaha, certain words, sentences to be chanted together. Then we have Kalpaha. Kalpa are the knowledge of all the rituals, how they have to be performed and all. So Shiksha is like the nose of the Vedas, and Kalpa are like the hands of the Vedas. Then the other limb is Vyakarana. Vyakarana means grammar. This grammar is also a limb of Vedas, and grammar is also Anadi Ananta Paurushe. All these limbs are Anadi Ananta Paurushe. Grammar is also Anadi Ananta Paurusheya. All of us, we are born with the knowledge of grammar. Not only human beings, but animal, birds, plant, that is there in them. Later on we come to understand, when we learn different languages, we come to understand, oh, this is called this way in this language. But the grammar is something natural, something which is there within us. So that Vyakarana is also an important limb of Vedas. And Panini Rishi, he wrote a beautiful text on the Vyakarana also, the Ashtadhyayi, which are also most fascinating. Then we should also know the meaning of all these words. If we listen to the Vedas, if we read the Vedas, if we listen to the Vedas, we should be able to understand, know the meaning of those words. So the meanings of those words are indicated by, they are given in the dictionary, and the Vedic dictionary is the Niruktam. Niruktam is a dictionary of the Vedas, which reveals the meaning of all the words used. So the dictionary Niruktam is like the mouth of the Vedas. Nice. Dictionary is like the ears of the Vedas. Vyakarana is like the mouth, and dictionary Niruktam is like the ears of the Vedas. Then those mantras are written in certain meters, poetic meters. And those poetic meters are called Chanda. Like Bhagavad Gita is written in Anushtup Chanda, which contains 32 letters. So there are different meters are there. And those meters are called Chanda, like Gayatri Chanda. That Gayatri mantra which we chant is also in Gayatri Chanda. So those chandas, the knowledge of the chanda are like the feet of the Vedas, expressing whatever has to be expressed in these poetic meters. The Vedas as though move forward. So there is movement. Therefore, they are indicated as feet. And Jyotisham is astrology, which is also in tune with the astronomy. And this astrology is a science of time and space, which is there in the Vedas. The Vedas talk about the different karma which have to be performed at a specific time at a specific place. So we should have the knowledge of the time and space properly. That's called the muhurta. If we have to do any special activity which is mentioned in the Vedas, they talk about the muhurta also. And that is followed even now with all our festivals and all rituals are performed following the muhurta, and which follows the cosmic times, the calendar, not the English calendar, but the cosmic calendar, which is based on the movement of the moon, which is based on the movement of the earth, and which is based on the movement of the sun. So based on the movement of the moon we have, or even based on the rotation of the earth. So one rotation of the earth is 1 day. Then one revolution of the moon around the earth is 1 month. One revolution of the earth around the sun is 1 year. One revolution of the sun in the entire galaxy, Milky Way galaxy, is like some yugas. So again the day is divided into so many prahar and all, and the precise muhurta, precise time can be calculated. Suppose one wants to do a particular yajna, a havan, and if one is doing it at a particular place, then what is the most conducive time for performing that can be calculated and accordingly should be done. Because the expressions of this world is, as we have seen, is variety. Though Brahma is present everywhere, but the expressions are different. Just like the ornaments, gold ornaments, in all the ornaments the gold is present, but when you want to utilize the ornament, when you want to use the ornament, then we have to see the shape and the name of the ornament, and accordingly we use it. So if there is an anklet, we use it for our feet. Bangles are used for our wrist. Earrings are used for ears. We cannot say, no, all of them are gold, so we can wear anything, anywhere. That will not be proper. Because in Vyavahar, we have to see the difference of names and forms. But in the Swarupa, there is no Vyavahar. In Brahma, there is no Vyavahar. But in the world, Vyavahar happens. And when we do the Vyavahar, not only the effort with which we perform an action, but the time, at what time you are performing and in which place you are performing, that will also influence the result. Therefore, even the important functions like marriage and all is performed at a proper muhurta. At that particular muhurta only, if the yajna and all those things are performed, then they will have positive effect. If the muhurta goes wrong, then the effect also are seen going wrong somewhere. So this science of time and place and muhurta is what is given in this Jyotish. They are not, Jyotish is not meant to predict the future and all those things, which nowadays people do. But in Vedas, the main purpose of the Jyotish is to select proper time and space for performing those karmas. So the Jyotis are like the eyes of the Vedas. So all this is Apara Vidya, lower Vidya. But what about the Para Vidya? Because the question which was asked, ki kasminnu bhagavo vidnyate sarvamidam vidnyatam bhavati, that question is regarding Para Vidya only, knowing which everything will become known. So what is Para Vidya? So it is said, Atha Para Yaya Tad Aksharam Adhigamyate. Para is that by which that Akshara, which will be indicated in the next mantra, that one which the disciple had asked is indicated as Akshara, means immutable, indestructible, eternal. That eternal one, that Akshara, that by which we come to realize that Akshara, gain that direct experience of that Akshara, that direct realization or experience is called Paravidya. Now we will read Shankaracharya's Bhashya and try to understand this mantra in more depth. So Shankaracharya writes, Kitatra ka apara iti uchyate. What is this apara vidya? So Rig Vedo, Yajur Vedaha, Sama Vedo, Atharva Vedaha iti ete chatvaro Vedaha. These 4 Vedas are apara vidya. Also Shiksha, Kalpo, Vyakaranam, Niruktam, Chandaha, Jyotisham iti angani Sharesha apara vidya. All these 6 also are apara vidya only, the lower vidya. This lower vidya gives us knowledge of dharma and also gives us knowledge of adharma. See, we should not only know what is dharma, but we should also know what is adharma. It's very important. Just by knowing dharma, our knowledge will not be complete. We should know what is good, and we should also know what is not good. And this good and not good is not determined by our own buddhi. It is not determined by the worldly wisdom. It is indicated in the Vedas only. Because only after understanding everything, the entire one who understands the entire cosmos, and one who understands all the beings, and one who knows the past of all the beings, and one who can predict the future of all beings, and one who knows the secret of all the karma and the karma phala, alone can reveal what is dharma, what we should do and what we should not do. And such a being is that Ishvara alone. Through him only these Vedas have emerged. So from the Vedas we come to understand what is dharma and what is not dharma. See, for example, a person is traveling and he asks you how to reach a particular destination. If you know the destination and if you know all the route, you will be able to guide that person. But if we don't know the destination, if we don't know all the routes, we will not be able to guide the person. Similarly, all of us are at different levels in our spiritual evolution, on different roads as though, and we have to reach our destination. So one who knows that destination and one who knows where we are will be able to guide us properly on that path. So dharma is different from what we consider as law and all in the world. They are different. What is dharma and what is adharma, we come to understand from this Vedas only. If we go against dharma, that is called papa. If we do something in tune with dharma, that is punya. And punya gives us a positive phala. And papa gives us sorrow, pain. So, all this knowledge which is revealed in the Vedas about this dharma, adharma, and all the sadhan which we used to do, perform this dharma and gain the phala, the knowledge of the phala, are all called apara vidya, lower vidya, lower knowledge. Because however much one may even follow the path of dharma, we will remain in this samsara only. Of course, if we pursue this path of dharma by dedicating whatever we do to Ishvara, it will help us to purify our antakarana and make us conducive to gain the knowledge of the Supreme. Just performing any karma is not called dharma. There are people who might be following proper rules, regulations of the society and doing all their duties properly. That itself doesn't make them spiritual. Our karma should be such that we should be able to tune ourselves to Ishvara. They have to be dedicated to Ishvara, means we have to get connected to Ishvara through our karma. So when we get connected to Ishvara through karma, then that is the karma yoga. Then that karma becomes karma yoga. Otherwise it is just mere karma, which is also good, but that is not the spiritual sadhana. So all this we come to understand from the Vedas and all those other literature which are in tune with the Vedas. And the knowledge of that Supreme Brahma is called Paravidya. Shankaracharya ji writes, Ki atha idanim iyam Paravidya uchyate. Now the Paravidya is being conveyed. Yaya tad vakshamana visheshanam aksharam adhigamyate prapyate. What is Paravidya? It is that by which we come to attain, come to realize that Brahma, that Akshara, which will be indicated in the next mantra, all the adjectives of that Akshara Brahma. When one come to realize it, the direct experience of that Brahma is called Paravidya. That experience of Brahma is not different from the Paravidya. Paravidya is experience of that Brahma alone. Adipurvasya game prayashah praptyarthatvat na cha parapraptehe avagamarthasya bhedah asti. The attainment of the Supreme and knowledge of the Supreme is one only. Means knowledge of the Supreme, that Brahma is attaining that Brahma. Not mere acquiring word knowledge. Not mere acquiring theoretical knowledge. Just gaining theoretical understanding of that Brahma is not called Paravidya. But direct realization of that Brahma is indicated here as Paravidya. That direct realization alone destroys avidya, which is the very cause of our samsara. Avidyayaha apaya evahi paraprapti na arthantaram. So destruction of avidya and direct realization of that Brahma is indicated here as Paravidya. And Rigved, Yajurved, Samaved, Shiksha, Vyakarana, Chanda and all are Aparavidya, lower Vidya. Now when we hear this, we have this question. And that question is raised by Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji himself, and he answers. What is the question? That if, let us read what he says. Nanu means he is asking a question. There is this question कि ऋग्वेदादि बाह्या तर्हि सा कथम पराविद्या स्यात् मोक्ष साधनंच. That if you have categorized aparavidya, the lower knowledge, as Rigved, Yajurved, Samaved, Atharvaved, etc., which also includes Upanishads, if all these Upanishads and all these Vedas are indicated as lower knowledge, and different from them is this higher knowledge, then how can that be higher knowledge? Nanu Rigvedadi Bhagya Tarhi Sa Katham Paravidya Syat Moksha Sadhanam. How it can be considered higher knowledge? How can it lead to moksha? Why? What is the problem? It is said in Manusmriti and in all our Dharma Shastras that those texts which are not in tune with the Vedas, they can never give us moksha. Shankaracharya ji quotes from Manusmriti. He says, Ya Veda Bhaya Smritayaha Yascha Kascha Kudrishtayaha Sarvasta Nishfalaha Pretya Tamonishta Smritaha. He says those texts or those writings or those literature, whether ancient, whether modern, and whoever might have written them, because other than the Vedas, all other texts and all literature are written in particular time. They have Adi. Vedas are Anadi, and every other literature have a Adi. Adi means a beginning. They are written in particular time. They are not Ananta, they are Santa, means they are limited. They have limited scope, limited scale. And Vedas are Apaurusheya, and all other texts are Paurusheya, means written by someone. So when something is written by some human beings, by their own thinking and their own intelligence, then those texts will always have some limitations, some defects. Because our mind, our intellect by nature has got a defect. If we don't have the knowledge of that Supreme, our vision will be limited and there will be defects in our writings. Therefore, it is said in our Dharma Grantha that those texts which are not in tune with the Vedas, Ya Veda Bhaya, they are called Veda Bhaya Smritayaha, which are written in a particular time by some particular person. Yascha Kascha Kudrishtaya, whoever might have written, they are Kudrishtayaha. If they are not in tune with the Vedas, then they are Kudrishti. They are not looking at that supreme reality. They are looking elsewhere only. They are showing something different only. They are not tuned with the reality. And sarvasta nishfalaha, and they are all fruitless. They will not give us neither anything good in this world nor in the other world. So sarvasta nishfala pretya means once we leave this world, tamonishtaha, they will lead to some lower lokas only. So tamonishta hita smrutaha. So such texts, such writings, such literature, they are not of any welfare for us. And here you are saying, this is a objection raised. So here you are saying that Paravidya is different from Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda and all those Shadalinga, 6 limbs. So then they are also, then Paravidya is not good. Kudrishtitvat, because it will also have a kudrishti, wrong vision. And Nishfalatvat, and it will be fruitless. So anadeyaha syat, so therefore they have to be rejected. The higher Vidya you are talking about should be outright rejected if they are not in tune with the Vedas. And you have said that they are different. The Vedas are different, lower Vidya, and different from the Vedas is this higher Vidya. And further, Upanishadam cha Rig Vedadi bahyatvam syat. Because even Upanishads, which are understood to be revealing that Brahma, and if you say even the Upanishads are, if you say they are different from the Rig Vedas and all, Upanishads reveal that Brahma and they are different from the Rig Vedas, then even Upanishads becomes something which has to be rejected because they are different from the Vedas. And if you say no, Upanishads are part of the Vedas, Rig Vedaditve tu Pratakkaranam Anarthakam Atha Para iti. If you say no, they are part of the Vedas, then to separate them and to say that a separate, the higher knowledge is different from this Vedas and different from the Upanishad, also doesn't make proper sense. So what you have conveyed here in this mantra, I cannot understand it. How can this Paravidya be something different from the Vedas, different from the Upanishads, and still they are something which can give us the supreme? I hope you understood the objection. So this objection may come into our mind. Therefore this objection is raised by Shankaracharya himself in his Bhashya. That is how he writes this Bhashya. That whatever questions, whatever doubts which logically, rationally might come in a rational, intelligent person, Bhagwan just raises those doubts and answers them. Because our knowledge can become perfect if we don't have any doubts. If it is crystal clear, if it is most logical, rational, and without any contradictions, then only our knowledge will be proper. So when this question was raised, now Bhagwan answers, he says, na, that what you are saying is not right. That Vedya Vishaya Vijnanasya Vivakshitatvat, that what is indicated here by separating as Paravidya is to talk about the Vedya Vishaya, that which has to be understood, that which has to be realized. Because generally when people talk about Upanishad, when they talk about the Vedas, they talk about the Shabda Rashi, the words, and the meaning of those words. The words and the meaning of the words themselves is not called Paravidya. Upanishad Vedya Akshara Vishayam hi Vijnanam iha Paravidya iti pradhanyena vivakshitam Now, Upanishad Shabda Rashihi. Suppose I study this Mundaka Upanishad and understand all the mantras and just gain an intellectual understanding of the whole thing. And I will say that, oh, I have gained knowledge of the Upanishad. Will I become free? Will I gain moksha? Shankaracharya ji says no. That is not called Paravidya. That is just your intellectual appreciation. You have collected lot of thoughts and lot of words from the Upanishads. The words of the Upanishad, the mantras of the Upanishad themselves are not called Paravidya. Veda shabdena tu sarvatra shabdarashihi vivakshitaha. Then what is Paravidya? Shabdarashya adhigame api yatnantaram antarena guru abhigamanadi lakshanam vairagyancha na akshara adhigamaha sambhavati iti. That after gaining that intellectual appreciation, after learning the Vedas properly from the teacher, one has to have that vairagya and one has to meditate and gain direct experience of that truth. That itself is called Paravidya. If it just remains as an intellectual appreciation, that is not called Paravidya. That is also Aparavidya only. And this is the most important point which is revealed in this mantra, hinted in this mantra. So, many times people actually, they study the Vedas, they study the Upanishads, they come to understand what is being said there. So one gains that intellectual appreciation of it. One comes to understand what is that Brahma. And that is just intellectual understanding of that Brahma, which we have to directly realize as our own self. In Bhagavad Gita also Bhagavan talks about that Brahma. In the beginning we have to know that Brahma with the help of this world, by thinking about the world and understanding that Brahma is the cause of this world through the contemplation on this Karya Karana Sambandha, the effect and cause relationship. We have to appreciate the nature of that Brahma. We have to first understand the existence of that Brahma and understand the nature of that Brahma. In Bhagavad Gita 13th chapter, Bhagavan tells Arjuna कि नेयम यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यत् ज्ञात्वा मृतमश्नुते अनादिमत् परम ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते. Bhagavan tells Arjuna that I will tell you about the Neya Brahma, which has to be understood intellectually. We can understand that Brahma by making our buddhi tuned to that Brahma. And first the Brahma has to be appreciated. One should know its existence by understanding its relationship with this world. Then through neti neti we have to understand the nature of that Brahma. And that nature of that Brahma also can be understood when our own buddhi becomes as pure and as clean as that Brahma. So Nirmala, Swachha, Sukshma, when our buddhi becomes, then with our buddhi we come to understand the nature of that Brahma. So that is the intellectual appreciation of Brahma. Thereafter, we have to understand that Brahma, which is indicated and which I have understood, is my own inner self. Tat Tvam Asi. In the Upanishad also, in Chandogya Upanishad, the teacher tells the student first about that Brahma, and then he tells that you are that. You are that Brahma. So that which I experience as my own self, this Pratyek Atma, which is my direct experience, I have to realize this Pratyek Atma as Brahma by constantly meditating on that, Nididhyasan. So when we constantly meditate and assert and understand and realize this Pratyek Atma as Brahma and gain that direct aparoksha anubhuti, means direct experience of myself as Brahma, that experience, that knowledge, which is also called knowledge, that knowledge is what is indicated here as Paravidya. Therefore, to indicate all this, the teacher has separated even the Vedas and the Upanishads also, he separated as lower Vidya, and the essence when we pick up from the Upanishad and come to realize it, that is the Paravidya. Prathak Karanam Brahma Vidyayaha Paravidya iti Kathanam cha iti. And this direct realization happens when we put forth effort after gaining that knowledge of that Brahma. We have to put forth effort to gain direct experience. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagavan talks about that knowledge of that Brahma. He talks about it in the 4th chapter. He says that if you want to gain that knowledge, you approach a teacher. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. That you approach a teacher and gain this knowledge. And after gaining that knowledge, means after appreciating that Brahma intellectually, one has to renounce all karma sannyas, and meditate to gain abidance in that knowledge, that jnana nishtha. When we gain that jnana nishtha, that itself is that Paravidya. Shankaracharya ji also differentiate between this Paravidya and Aparavidya. Further, he says कि यथा विधि विषये कर्त्रादि अनेक कारक उपसंहार द्वारेण वाक्यार्थ ज्ञान कालात् अन्यत्र अनुष्ठेयः अर्थ अस्ति अग्निहोत्रादि लक्षणो न तथा इह. He says that in case of the knowledge of dharma, adharma, which is given in the Vedas, there we have to gain the knowledge of that dharma, and then we have to practice it, put it into practice. Just gaining that knowledge itself is not everything. We have to gain that knowledge and practice it. For example, if I come to understand the yajna which we have to perform, which will give us punya, by which we can attain that swarga. So if I gain that knowledge of that yajna, after gaining that knowledge, I have to perform that yajna. Just by gaining that knowledge itself, the result will not come. So in case of dharma, in case of aparavidya, means the lower knowledge, knowledge has to be gained and action has to be done. Then only the result comes. But in case of paravidya, that knowledge itself is complete. But what is knowledge? Which is which is culminated in experience. So Bhagavan says कि न तथा इह परविद्या विषये वाक्यार्थ ज्ञान समकाल एव तो पर्यवसितो भवति. That when we come to understand what is revealed in the Upanishad and understand means gain direct experience of it, that itself is complete in itself. Then you don't have to do anything. केवल शब्द प्रकाशित अर्थ ज्ञान मात्र निष्ठा व्यतिरिक्त अभावात. So those things which are revealed in the mantras of the Upanishad, when we understand those mantras and gain direct experience of that what is understood, other than this, then we don't have to do anything. That itself is the Paravidya, and that itself will give us the knowledge of that one thing, knowing which everything will become known, and that leads to Moksha. That gives Moksha. So all these things are indicated here in this mantra. तस्माद् इह पराम विद्याम सविशेषणेन अक्षरेण विशिनष्टि यत्तद्दृश्यम इत्यादिना. So that paravidya which we have to gain and experience, that paravidya is indicated, the visheshan, the adjectives of that paravidya, the adjectives of that Brahma are indicated in the following mantra. Tad yat tad adrishyam ityadi. So I hope you are understanding what I am conveying. If you have any questions and all, you may ask. You can write in the comments section. And as you listen, as you contemplate, you will be able to appreciate it. It's the most fascinating, most fascinating. So more about, we will chant the next mantra and see the meaning of that mantra in our next class. Yattad adrishyam agrahyam agotram avarnam achakshushrotram tad apanipadam nityam vibhum sarvagatam susukshmam tad avyayam yad bhuta yonim paripashyanti dhiraha. Next class we will have on Monday. On this Saturday and Sunday, I am having special sessions. I will be having special sessions on Upadesar. I have mentioned this. You can go through the link which I have posted on my Facebook page. So this session will be there on Saturday and Sunday. It will be on Zoom and also will be then published on the YouTube channel. And it will be very interesting. 2 days session with some question answers also. And I will be speaking on Upadesar, which is the most fascinating text of Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi, and giving an overview of this text, the essence of the essence. So, if you have not registered, you please register. The link is given, so go on that link and register your name and attend these sessions. Will be good. Okay, that has been organized by uh, Indica Moksha, I think. So that has been organized by them. So you attend this session, and we will meet on Monday to continue with this Upanishad. Okay? This Upanishad is most fascinating, and we will continue with it. So till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana, and listen to this pravachan again. Because when we are listening for the first time, certain things are missed. So when we listen to it again, we can pick up those things. And also you should have this book with you, Shankaracharya's commentary, because whatever I am conveying is what is written by Shankaracharya. From my side, I give some examples and like that. But whatever I am saying is what is revealed by Adi Shankaracharya ji in his Bhashya. I don't refer to any other texts and any other Prakarana Granthas or any other things. Only through Adi Shankaracharya ji's Bhashya, the knowledge is conveyed. Okay? So see you on Saturday for Upadesar. Saturday, Sunday, same time 12 to, I think it will be 1:30. And then we will meet on Monday again for this Upanishad. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Boliye Syavar Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.